My name is Juliet Dane. I am 30 years old and a colonel in the United States Army. 5 years ago, I walked out of my family home, not looking back. I had grown tired of being seen as the disappointment, the daughter who had wasted her future by choosing military service over business school. My father once told me the Army is for people who have no real options. That was the last meaningful conversation we ever had. In my family, success was always measured by titles, business strategies, and corporate milestones. My brother Logan followed the path perfectly. He was the golden child, the chosen one, the future of Westbridge Technologies, the defense firm my father had dedicated his life to. I was the deviation, the cautionary tale, the daughter who threw it all away. For 5 years, I built a life far from them. I moved from base to base, climbing the ranks, earning respect, saving networks from cyber threats, and leading missions that would never make it to the dinner table at home. They never came to my promotion ceremonies. They didn't answer my calls. Every time I reached out, the only thing they asked about was Logan's latest project or the company's quarterly profits. They never asked about me. Tonight, I returned home for family dinner. The house looked the same. The cracked steps, the fading welcome mat, the aging minivan parked in the driveway. The inside was filled with the same scent, the same framed photos of Logan's graduations, his wedding, his children. None of me. Not a single picture in uniform. Not even the commissioning portrait I had mailed them 5 years ago. Dinner's almost ready, my mother said from the kitchen, not looking up as I stepped inside. Logan just got another promotion. He's leading the systems integration team now. Everyone says he's going places. That phrase, going places, used to haunt me. No, it meant nothing. I smiled politely. That's great, Mom. We sat at the dinner table as if nothing had changed. Logan arrived on time, as always, wearing a blazer that screamed importance without trying too hard. He hugged me briefly, already focusing on our father. Long time. 5 years, I replied. He blinked, unsure if I was joking. I wasn't. We ate the same roast beef and mashed potatoes my mother had made since I was 10. Logan effortlessly led the conversation, discussing corporate restructures, performance bonuses, and his work on a military contract. My father looked at him with pride, as though his son was shaping the future of the company. My mother turned to me with a polite but distant smile. Still traveling with the Army? More or less. Still a captain? My father asked, as never leaving his fork. Something like that, I said. Must be tough, Logan added. Being in the field all the time. No long-term strategy, just following orders. I didn't argue. I didn't correct them. My uniform, carefully folded upstairs in my suitcase, told the story they refused to hear. Tomorrow, they would learn how much strategy one truly commanded. I spent the rest of the evening in my old room, sitting on the edge of my childhood bed, surrounded by relics of a version of me they had once believed in. Basketball trophies, honor roll certificates, college acceptance letters, everything before I chose the Army. Nothing of what I had achieved since. No articles about my cybersecurity awards, no photos from deployments, no certificates for my promotions to major, then lieutenant colonel, and finally, colonel. The day I told them I accepted the ROC scholarship, I had expected hesitation. I did not expect disgust. My father looked at me like I had thrown my life away. The military is for people who don't have real potential, he said. You were always meant for more. By more, he meant his version, an MBA, a corner office, a seat next to him at Westbridge Technologies. Logan fit the mold perfectly. The family story was complete. Logan was the successor. I was the mistake. But the irony? Logan had just been promoted to lead the systems integration team on the very military contract I now oversaw. None of them knew. Tomorrow, at 0900 hours, I would walk into Westbridge Technologies in full uniform and brief the executive board as the Pentagon liaison for Project Sentinel. I would have final approval authority over the very project Logan had proudly discussed over dinner. That night, I carefully laid out my uniform, polished my insignia, and rehearsed my briefing. Tomorrow wasn't about revenge. It was about presence, precision, and proving my worth in a language they couldn't dismiss. The next morning, I arrived 15 minutes early, pulling into a reserved parking spot marked Military Liaison, DoD Authorized. I stepped out in full dress uniform, adjusting my collar as I passed through security. Heads turned. Guards straightened. "Good morning, Colonel." One greeted me with a respectful nod, a greeting I had never heard in my father's home. When the elevator doors opened on the executive floor, the first person I saw was Logan. His relaxed posture stiffened when he saw me step out. Juliet? What are you doing? What is that? Good morning, Mr. Dane. I'm here for the project review. Behind him, my father's voice echoed as he approached with two other executives. When he saw me, he stopped, confused. Juliet, why are you dressed like that? What's going on? Before I could answer, Lorraine Hart, CEO of Westbridge Technologies, appeared. Her face lit up with recognition. Colonel Dane, I didn't know you'd be attending in person. A pleasure. I shook her hand. I was in the area. Thought it would be useful to join the briefing myself. Lorraine turned to the group. For those unaware, this is Colonel Juliet Dane, our Pentagon liaison for Project Sentinel. She has final approval authority over all military integrations on this project. Silence felt like a thunderclap. I didn't need to look at my father or Logan. Their silence told me everything. In the conference room, my name was already on a placard at the head of the table. Directors, engineers, and project leads filtered in, introducing themselves with the careful politeness reserved for people who could approve or halt millions in funding. Some were surprised by my age. Most were surprised I was a woman. But no one questioned me after seeing my insignia. The meeting began. I stood and briefed the room, outlined critical adjustments, made eye contact, asked sharp questions. Then it was Logan's turn. He presented his rollout strategy, clearly rattled. Mr. Dane, I said evenly, can you clarify how your proposal accounts for the latency thresholds outlined in our last Pentagon memo? He faltered. I can revisit that section. You'll need to. Our benchmarks are non-negotiable. Please revise the protocol draft and submit it by close of business Thursday. Yes, ma'am. I moved on, unshaken. The meeting ended just past noon. As people filed out, I noticed their glances, no longer curious, but respectful. I had earned my seat at the table, and they knew it. My father waited for me in the hallway afterward. His voice, when he spoke, carried no authority. We need to talk. In his office, my mother was already there, stiff and uncomfortable. Logan stood by the window, arms crossed. My childhood jury. You've been a colonel for how long? My father asked. 6 months. 6 months, he repeated, stunned. And you didn't tell us? I did, I said softly. I sent invitations, emails, articles. I left voicemails. None of you responded. We didn't know what it meant, my mother whispered. We didn't understand. Because I stopped trying to justify my worth, I said. You never asked about me, unless it was to suggest I quit the army and come home. Logan's voice was quiet. We thought you were stuck, moving from base to base, never going anywhere. You said last night that people in the military just follow orders. I reminded him. You laughed while saying it. I didn't know you were doing this. You never asked. My mother blinked quickly. We should have been there for your commissioning, your graduation. I thought you were pushing us away. No, I said. I just stopped hoping you'd show up. The silence that followed was heavy, but necessary. What do you want now? My father asked. Public acknowledgement? A headline in the company newsletter. I want nothing but what I've always deserved. Respect. For my work. For my decisions. For the fact that I didn't fail just because I didn't follow your path. Logan stepped forward. You were fair today. You didn't humiliate me. I wasn't there to. I was doing my job. You were commanding, he said. It was impressive. My father slowly extended his hand. Colonel Dane, I owe you an apology. I underestimated you completely. I shook his hand firmly. I accept. We'd like to try again, my mother said. If you'll let us. One step at a time. 6 months later, my family came to dinner at my apartment in Washington, D.C. My father brought a framed article from a defense journal. My photo was on the cover, standing in full uniform beside General Armstrong and Lorraine Hart. I've had this in my office for a few months now, he said. Thank you, Dad. It means something. My mother brought apple pie, still your favorite, right? And Logan came with a bottle of wine and a quiet ease I didn't expect. After dinner, Logan pulled me aside. I implemented the rollout structure you mentioned. It works. Did you tell them where you got it? Eventually, after I let them think I was a genius for 5 minutes. As long as it's working, it is. And so are you. I don't think I've ever told you that. No, you haven't. Well, I'm saying it now. Later, my father quietly examined my medals. His eyes paused on one, the cybersecurity citation for stopping a foreign breach that nearly crippled 2 federal networks. I read about that, he said softly. Didn't realize you were leading it. I was. He nodded. No more words needed. Over coffee, he raised his glass. To Colonel Juliet Dane, who proved that your worth isn't found in following someone else's path, but in walking your own. I raised mine. In that moment, I realized the victory was never about their approval. It was about knowing I was already enough. If they underestimate you, let them. Keep building. Keep rising. And when the moment comes, show up fully. Because the strongest proof isn't what you say. It's who you've quietly become.